Oh yeah, welcome back to Captain Coleslaw Outdoors with yours truly. And this little 7-point here that I've got is the product of those skull boilings we were doing the other day. Now actually this one I boiled earlier in the year, whereas those other bucks came into my existence weeks later. But this is the archery buck that you watched me harvest here on The Reason a couple episodes ago. He's not the biggest 7-point in the world, but this is my first attempt at a burned Euro, and I can't believe how well it came out, at least for me, with the time and resources that I have. But another thing about this buck that's super significant is that this is the first buck that I've harvested off my wife's family farm, which is a beef farm in central Pennsylvania, where her grandparents, brothers, father, uncles have been hunting in their own style of deer hunting for generations. Now, bow hunting has been a minor part of that tradition, but the firearm season is kind of the central point where these traditions that I speak of were first born. And they like to do something out there on the farm known as driving deer, which is something I've never actually done until I started dating who is now my wife roughly 5 years ago. So in this episode, I want to show you the farm where this deer came from, not from a deer drive perspective, but I want to show you those traditions because that is where the deer hunting culture on this farm came from, and that is why I have the opportunity to harvest a buck like this to begin with. So this hunt is a tribute to the farm where my wife and my in-laws have grown up and all the hunting traditions that they've created through Pennsylvania firearm deer season. So we're not going public land sits today. We are on the move. We are pushing deer around. I have some doe tags. So even though we won't see a buck drop today, there's a very good chance that some venison will still hit the ground. So enjoy this video. And this is our final video on the Reason series of deer hunting of any kind. So enjoy this action, enjoy the fellowship, and we'll see you in the woods. Oh yeah, we're back. It's 2 days after we hunted the public land sector, passed on those bucks, didn't see a doe, and dodged some hunters. While it's raining now, it's 50 degrees almost. It's actually 37, but it'll go up warmer during the day. And today we're going to explore a completely different tradition of the Pennsylvania firearm season. We're actually going to my in-laws farm where we're meeting up with all the guys to practice what we call our annual deer drive. So the point is simple. Everyone in the family tree shows up in the workshop, which is Dawn's old work shed, basically. And we basically come up with plans to drive out pieces of woods where some hunters walking through the woods called drivers are trying to scare deer towards people sitting or watching at the other end of the woods. So those deer basically run right to those watchers, and if there's a big buck in there, they shoot them. If they have a doe tag, they can do that too. I still have 2 doe tags, and if I shoot some big does today, I could shoot 2 of them. I don't know if that's gonna happen, but if they give us the opportunity, we are gonna let it rip. I got the GoPro on my head so we can actually document the drive process and maybe catch some action while doing so. But if nothing else is caught or shot today, you better believe that I'm gonna catch some flack for bringing a new spin, which is videography, to an old tradition, which is the farm deer drive. Hey, what's going on? What's up?
We're having a film hunt.
Yeah, I'll make you a movie star, finally.
Morning, buddy. How are you?
Good. Morning. Hey. Morning.
Are we? GoPro. No, when we're filming.
I will. Can't shoot with the, well, I can shoot with my 308, but I figured you could shoot with a lens as well and maybe catch something cool.
You gotta sit with somebody.
Yeah? Huh.
Don't sit with me. We're getting film of squirrel.
After a little early morning camaraderie, we load up the trucks and the drivers head to the top of an old Christmas tree farm where we're going to drive down through and push our deer to the watchers sitting in the bottoms around us.
I always done this. Okay. Done it longer than this. Okay. Gino should just walk back the road almost. Yeah.
Just see if anything tries to cut across. Works for me.
Knock them down.
Once we get up to the top of the nursery, the drivers split up, heading into 3 groups, with myself right down the center, in case any does try to cross the nursery without going to the end of the woods in front of us. Alright, so we're splitting up on the first drive here. All 4 of us up here have already shot a buck, so we can't shoot a buck clearly, but I'm gonna get up over this Christmas tree farm and just kind of look down below and see if any does cross over that these guys on either side of me push out. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get a shot at one of these deer because it's so open, and if a deer comes into the open, it's not because they're trying to hide, it's because they're trying to run and cover ground and get to a new hiding spot. So we'll keep our eyes peeled, see if we can't get a shot at something, but I have very little optimism about killing one on this drive. More so just kind of want to see how the deer move across the landscape based off of how the push goes. Alright, so our first effort at the drive did not produce a deer, but check this out. Down the ground here, you can see where a deer had bailed right down off this hillside and down into the bottoms below us. So there's deer moving. Apparently not a buck because we got guys stationed right on the other side of this dip. So on the next drive, I'll probably sit and try to get the does out of the thicket that we just bumped them on as we move them to the next hilltop. These deer like to go high to low to high, and whenever there's a thicket for them to hide in at a higher elevation, that's where they're gonna be. So, well, we're gonna keep moving, meet up with the guys and see if they saw anything. After completing the first drive, we meet back at the workshop to think about our next plan, with a little side telemarketer story in between there.
Dish, you know, he got me for 99 bucks, but I got it stopped. Then he called me again, told me my check wasn't any good. I said, no. He said, what is your social security number? I said, 1, 2, you. Click.
Once we're all on the same page, Zach and I head up into a thicket ridge behind the barn where we think the deer we drove out earlier ended up. So we're going to be stationed in the thicket while the drivers push from an opposite hillside, trying to push deer down near the field, deeper into the woods for us to shoot at. Let's go. Whew. Doe down in my face. Let's go. Well, miss one, hit one. It all works out. We got what we came here for. We got a big doe down right here. Came right up that bottom, kind of like we were expecting off that drive. Took a small hickory tree out. That first deer had no idea what happened, but this doe is a lot bigger. So it all worked out. There's a trail right here where those deer were running up. Holy cow, this doe was absolutely gargantuan. The biggest doe I've ever shot. Wow, look at that. Whew. Nice. Wow, that is a big deer there. Well, another successful deer harvest here on Captain Coleslaw Outdoors. Like and subscribe if you like seeing these traditions being maintained, whether it be with family or in the places that your hunting origins started. Continue to shoot straight, stay strong, and that's it. I'll catch you guys on the next one.
We got to catch our breath before we get down there, so
We don't look like old people.
yeah, everybody thinks
Catch a bunch of flack.
we got meat, huh?
We're 2 for 2. Got her on the second, but you should have saw the hickory tree on the first.
Are we gonna eat now? It's 11 o'clock.